Hey guys, what's good? Mike here. Thanks for tuning into another video. So what's the difference between a product designer and a web designer? Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. This topic and this conversation kind of is very confusing at times because a lot of these titles cross different paths and have a lot of similarities and do a lot of the same things. Okay, but I'm going to do my best to try to explain what a product designer is in the sense of what we see now when we go to job boards and we hear the term product designer in the UI UX design community. Now, product designer has become popular over the last few years, okay? You see a lot of designers use the term product designer, okay? Now, what's the difference, okay? A product designer is essentially a UI UX designer, somebody that obviously does user interface design. You're in Sketch, you're in Photoshop, Fireworks, whatever, you're designing elements, right? You're designing interfaces, okay? And also somebody that understands UX design. You're using UX design methods, you're thinking about the user, you're researching, you're doing all those things, right? You're wireframing, you're building, you're designing your interfaces based on a user-centered design principle, right? So UI UX design. But a product designer is somebody that works primarily on products, on web-based products. Now, yes, the term product designer can be used for somebody that designs a toaster, right? But we're not talking about those type of product designers. In our community, in the UI UX design community, when you see the term product designer, these are essentially UI UX designers that works on web-based products. Okay, yes, you have like Sketch. Sketch is a product, but it's not a web-based, it's downloadable desktop. Those are product designers too, but 99% of the time when you hear the term product designer, these are UI UX designers that works on web-based products. Product sites that you log into, okay? Products could be free as well as paid, right? So for example, Facebook is a product, but it's free. You know, you log into Facebook, you use it, it's all free, but it is a product. Twitter is also free, it's a product you log into. Netflix is a product as well, something you log into, but you have to pay to use Netflix, right? So you can have paid and free. Google has millions of products and they're all free, okay? At ADP, I work on a web-based products. We have scheduling apps and stuff like this. Those are paid, those are not free. You have to log in to use those, but those clients who use ADP's products, they have to pay ADP to use them, right? So that's essentially what a product designer is. Now, the product designer who, you know, basically is a UI UX designer, you're just focused on working on products, you know, applications, desktop, mobile, tablet apps that people tend to use daily, right? Now, a web designer is, you could also say as a UI designer, right? Because when you're designing websites, you're doing UI and UX design work essentially, right? But a UI designer or a web designer is someone that I kind of categorize as a freelance designer, if that makes any sense. 9 times out of 10, if you're a web designer, you're doing freelance work, okay? You're designing sites for yourself, portfolio, you're designing sites for your clients, you know, maybe some attorney, maybe some auto body shop down the street, maybe some little cafe, someone who's selling products and you want to design a site for them. You're essentially just a freelance designer, okay? You're not working in a large product environment where you have development, you know, engineers, QA, product managers, you know, stakeholders and stuff like that. That's in a product design environment, okay? Web designer is more categorized, in my opinion, the way I would like to look at it is you're a freelance designer, okay? So I just had a session yesterday with Nelson from Webflow, really good live session, and we talked about getting started in the web design industry. And Webflow obviously is a great tool to use to build websites and stuff like that. And it started to, as we were discussing things, I started to see the differences between web designers and product designers and stuff like that, and how this tool could be used for both. But it just was interesting to me that there are some differences, and it's a little confusing on these two terms, but that's what it is. Basically, and in my next video, I'm going to talk about Webflow as a UI UX design tool? Can it be used as a UI UX design tool? I'll talk about that in my next video. But product designers are essentially UI UX designers that work in a product environment on applications, you know, like Facebook, Twitter, Netflix, any mobile app device and stuff like that. Things you log into, things that you generally have to create a username, an account, password, and stuff like that. Those are essentially products. Web designer is somebody that it's a freelance designer that builds small mom and pop shops, you know, brochure type sites, along with, you know, e-commerce sites and stuff like that. But you're essentially in the freelance sort of world, right? But it's so confusing because a lot of these whatever you do, you're using a lot of the same sort of disciplines, if you will, right? You're doing UI design work, you're doing UX design work in both. But hopefully, you know, I know it's a little confusing. I said it was confusing, but that's essentially my understanding of what the two differences are. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, leave comments below. Thanks for commenting, liking, and subscribing, and we'll talk soon. All right. Peace.